Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. In this Warcraft Rumble dungeon guide, I'm going to take a look at Blackfathom Deeps on a Horde week and showcase this Horde army that actually works with all Horde leaders. All Horde leaders are very similar, they're all bruisers or tanks, and they all get access to the same armor slots as well, so you can use this one army with all three leaders. First, a quick recap of the dungeon mechanics. The first boss, Mrglgrgl. Mrglgrgl has Murlocs that are coming for free. There are Murlocs over here, there's Murlocs over here, and there will be 3 Murlocs over here as well, and one of them is going to start shooting at your base immediately, and your base cannot shoot back. So, pretty annoying minis. There's also going to be Ogre Mages, Prowlers, Stonehoof Tauren, Spiderlings, that sort of things on this map. As for this map, I used to do it so that I would take this tower and attack from here, try to drop like safe pilots or something on these Murlocs so that they wouldn't shoot at my armies as they go in. But this choke point is really difficult to pass. And actually, the more I play this map, the more convinced that I am that the right strategy is just use unbound spam. You just kill Mrglgrgl with unbounds. You sometimes defend a little bit. You may send like somebody to grab the chest and somebody to kill this first Murloc or something. But spend very little resources on defense, mostly spend unbounds on Mrglgrgl and kill it, and it works up to -3 levels. And realistically, you are never going to push further than -3 levels unless you have some kind of relic like lifesteal or maybe grunts. And if you have one of those relics, then, well, yeah, then you can build a regular team that will just use the power of the relic to push higher. But unbound spam works everywhere where it's realistic to proceed. The second boss, Baron Aquanis, also known as Mr. 3 Gargoyles at once, is the most brutal boss in this dungeon because there's so many gargoyles coming at you. If you're doing this at a lower level, then you can just take this tower and push from here and then just kill it. But if you're doing this at a bit higher level, then those gargoyles are really going to hurt. You really have to stop the gargoyles from reaching your base, which means that you first take this tower and then you take this tower, and then you can start pushing at the boss. This third tower over here, that's completely inconsequential. You don't have to pay any attention to that one. There's a couple of gold veins. There's going to be 3 dark iron miners for the boss as there's more gold on the veins, so try to mine what you can, especially from there and also from here once you get this tower. But taking the towers so that you will survive the gargoyles and then pushing at the boss is the key. The third boss, Aquanis, is also not simple. There's 3 Hydra heads, one over here, one over there, one over there. First you need to kill all of the Hydra heads, and then this waterfall will despawn and all heads will reappear here, and then you have to kill them again. If your minis touch the waterfall while it's up, they will die. And the key to this map is really taking this area. You have to push here, you have to be able to take down this Hydra head and take this tower at the start, or otherwise you're pretty much doomed. That gives you access to this gold vein because there's not a lot of gold in this map. There's a vein here, and then there's another vein there, and then there's one chest over there, but very little gold, so you're operating with very limited resources. Once you have taken this down, then you can take out this head and that head and then push forward and just win the game. But if you fail to take this zone at the very beginning of the game, then you're just going to get swarmed and overwhelmed. This is the army that works with all Horde leaders. I'm using Execute, Darkspear Troll, Pyromancer, Earth Elemental, Whelp X, and Skeleton Party. So the idea here being that for the first boss, when you want to kill it with unbounds, well, we have Skeleton Party, Whelp X, and Earth Elemental, and then execute with the Bloodlust talent preferably, so that then when it gives Bloodlust to minis, then they just kill it that much faster. Pyromancer Troll can be used to pick up some chests if you need, defend a little bit if you need to, but it's mostly about the unbounds. Then the second boss. For the second boss, Pyromancer is absolutely crucial because you really need to get rid of some of those gargoyles. So Pyromancer can get rid of gargoyles, Skeleton Party can get rid of gargoyles. Even Troll can help against all of them because there's so many flying units, you just need to be able to handle those. And you can try to take towers with the Whelpex, with the Earth Elemental, and also with the Execute. Remember the Execute, you can execute some towers, and that can also get some things done, and then you can start to push at the boss. And then there's the third boss, and in third boss you really want to start by attacking the tower area and the first head at the tower area. And Flame Burst Whelpex are excellent there, because you can drop the Whelpex on top of the Murlocs that are at the boss, and then they explode and they get rid of the Murlocs and they start your push. And from there you just use Pyromancer, maybe your leader, all Horde leaders are with tanky, so something like that, and push forward there. And then just take down all the heads and start fighting against the final bosses behind the waterfall. And there also the unbounds can come in really handy, so just works quite sweet. I didn't have enough time to play through this with the -3s, but I have some footage from a -3 showing the first boss, showing the second boss where I got really close, but I didn't have time to finish the job, and then showing the third boss with the a-1 just to show you how it's done, but that would also same apply in a more higher difficulty level. So let's take a look at this combat in action. Alright, so let's start with Mrglgrgl, and here we want to use our unbounds in order to kill it. I didn't have proper unbounds in hand right now, so I spent the Pyromancer there to go grab a chest. I also cycled away the miner just so I could get rid of it, and then I found the right minis that I wanted. Now we're pushing, checking whether I need to do some defensive moves at my base. I don't, and everything is going really sweetly. Execute with the Bloodlust, and well, that's the boss at almost -3. Boom. So that's all fine and good, but then we come to Baron Aquanis, and this is incredibly difficult. So I'm here to show you that it can be done even at almost -3 levels, although I do lose this one actually in the end. But that's down to my own mistakes. I get to a winning position here anyway, which is what really matters. So the initial assault is coming, and Pyromancer is just spectacular in defending. You need to get this tower really quickly, otherwise you're definitely going to get overwhelmed. As you can see, more gargoyles are already coming. I was already slow at taking this tower here, but I should be able to manage this, because we're getting some job done. And look at the Pyromancer. The Pyromancer is just doing incredible things. Alright, we got one tower. That's great. Now I don't want to give my troll to the Banshee, but I can always feed a skeleton to a Banshee. That's an option. Now we did that, and then gargoyle spam begins from the left tower. That's what always happens. That's why you need to get the left tower as well, because those gargoyles, once they're 3 levels above, then it's really hard to defend against them. So I'm using Wellpex, and I'm using the Earth Elemental, and I'm using Execute. Execute can hit towers. And now we actually got to a position where I have both of the towers. I actually have both of the towers quite comfortably, so this is essentially now, this is a winning position. From here, you just need to make sure that you don't lose the towers and start making pushes towards the boss, and you will win. However, I think I made a couple of critical mistakes here. There, I didn't need to spend the kobold, because I had the leftmost tower, and if I have the leftmost tower, then it's going to shoot at the Banshee, and the Banshee will die. So I wasted a kobold there, and now that means that I can't get to mine, even though I would have good mining opportunities otherwise. But here, defending this tower is essential, and this Pyromancer should be doing a pretty good job at that. We're also getting some kind of an attack going on over there. Those Wellpex were now also wasted. They didn't really do what I needed them to do, so I wasted another 3 gold over there. And now, because I wasted the Kobold Miner earlier, that means that now the Darkheim Miner is mining 3 gold, and that's the beginning of the end. So when you're doing this difficulty of dungeon, this much higher up than your army level, you really can't afford mistakes. Well, maybe you can still afford a little bit, but it's very little. Here another one, because that gargoyle is always going to turn to the left tower. I didn't remember that, but it's always going to turn towards the left tower when it goes through the middle, and it notices that, hey, left tower is somebody else's, so I should have actually positioned the Pyromancer at the left tower to fight against the gargoyle. And then I also mispositioned the eggs, because they're not deep enough in the poison, so they didn't break, so I didn't get the tower back immediately. And then, because I had to focus on all of those, then the AI was able to come in from the right side, take control of the tower, and from here things are starting to get a little bit hopeless. Because now I just don't have the resources to keep defending. But as you can see, a series of what might look like pretty small mistakes actually ended up causing the loss here. but overall the game was perfectly winnable. If you try to push this many levels up without having any good relics, like I don't have any good relics here, then you just have to play almost perfect. That's just how it goes, but as you can see, this is an army that can get that done. So I went and did the final boss with my free-to-play account. I don't have all the talents even here, but still we're pushing orange difficulty, and it's almost ready. It's 1.0 exactly, so 0.1 more and it would be considered a red. So we're pushing quite high up with lacking talent composition, and it's still gonna be pretty sweet. So this is the exact same army. I'm even using execute even though I don't have a talent on execute, which renders it a little bit less useful, but it can still be useful in the second map. So I find it quite alright, because normally I wouldn't use any Horde minis in Blackfathom Deeps. So, well, having that Horde slot and then using execute on it seems quite fine. I was able to take the tower there on the left, and now after taking that on the left, then I want to push towards the right head. So Cairne is going to go in there, and we're going to get some whelps in. Hopes are going to die though. I'd like to support the pyromancers as well, although it does look like the pyromancers are in a bit of a hopeless position. So now I ended up losing the pyromancers, and I ended up losing the Cairne assault, and there's also a whole bunch of minis coming at my tower. So obviously this is not my finest hour right now, but be that as it may, I'm working on defending the tower the best I can, and starting to work on the heads from there. Now I do lose the tower, but hopefully only momentarily, because I should have enough tools here to keep defending it. Quillboars, mini quillboars, handle it. Well, Whelpegs, at least they explode. The explosion talent in them is just so strong. And now base is under a little bit of pressure, but nothing a pyromancer and a darkspear troll could not handle. Then again, this tower is under more pressure again. I'm going to try to get some skeleton party to defend it once again, and we do. And pyromancer and troll are doing a good job over on the other side. So yeah, this boss likes to send a lot of swarms at you, and area of effect damage is very useful in this one. And Whelpegs, when they explode, pyromancer, those just give you some of that damage. Now also I'm able to make use of the bridge, so my minis on the bridge can shoot below, and that will also help me maintain control. Alright, so one more head to go. We're pushing in, pyro, trolls, boom. Now they're down, and then beyond the waterfall we go. Checking to see if there's something to mine. I could mine a little bit over there. Get a tank in the front line. Then try to contest and grab the chest, I hope. Alright, one head is down. Going for a second head. Also, really nice thing about this comp is that when you need to push beyond the waterfall, you have all these unbounds. And there I was able to execute 2 heads with 1 execute, so there's some powerful synergies that this comp can provide, and that's what it looks like. Thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and a special thanks to all of my Patreon supporters, YouTube members and Twitch subscribers who make all of these videos possible.